people. This next person, soul on fire, absolutely. And hey, Chrissy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Kary?
Good. I'm going to hide my screen so people can see your banner because it's so cool, and then I'll come right back on, okay?
All right. There it is.
I love it. Fantastic.
Thanks.
So, yeah, I mean, that is a cool banner. And the book, tell us about it and tell us about you.
Yeah, my book is Blue Sky Morning. It is an inspirational travel story about a girl traveling around the world and finding herself.
Fantastic.
And it's inspired by some of my own travels, and some of it's, just totally made up in my head.
Love it. Love it. Well, this is great. Let's talk a little bit about what the Chrissy journey is, because you started. Well, first of all, your website's fantastic. We're going to share that here. Tell us your website though.
It is thechristinmaier.com.
The Christine Maier, MAIER.com. And tell us kind of what your superpower is. You've heard from a lot of different people today. We know that you have a superpower too. Tell us a little bit about it.
It is empowering people and encouraging them. And I have to say, I probably wouldn't even realize that if it wasn't for firing.
Wow. What happened? Tell us what happened.
A couple weeks ago, we were discussing superpowers, and they asked me, I'm like, I don't know. And I had a whole long list, and the last one on it was encouraging people. And they're like, that's your superpower. And everybody in the group agreed.
I love it. How affirming and confirming was it to hear from your fellow colleagues? Because that's powerful. I want people to realize, like right now, whether you're married, whether you're single, we all have massive blind spots. And when we try to do life alone in business, relationships, we don't understand our superpowers, our greatness. How confirming was that to hear your fellow people say, that's exactly you?
It was great because, as you said, when you're doing this alone, whether it's writing a book, building a course, or anything with your business, you feel like you're there alone, and you feel like you know what you're doing. And sometimes you need somebody from the outside to help you find out what's true and what's maybe not so true.
Yes. We call it truth telling. And there's been times where I've been called out in my life where I needed a truth teller just to say it. What do you find most fulfilling? Like, in other words, you do a lot of different activities. We put your book up right there. We put up your website. What are people going to find on your website?
In my heart is really people knowing who they are and what they're doing in this world and what they want to do, instead of just floating through life waiting for something to happen or doing what their family or their friends tell them they should be doing. And it's so easy to get caught in that trap of what everybody else is doing and not what we want to do.
Wow. Love it. Awesome. You also have an opportunity to work with some of our authors. In other words, you have this fantastic gift. In fact, that's what Igniting Souls does. We spot people. So, Rochelle just said hey to you. She's one of our author liaisons as well. But I hear people all the time say, like, Kary, we'd love to partner with you or Igniting Souls or something like this. The best way is to get involved in the community and be a giver and we're looking for people. And you were one of these people that we found very, very early on that said, you got a gift. What does that do to you, knowing that you have your own business, that you're growing, your own writing, but then you also get to, have this job as well where you're igniting souls?
It is a great opportunity to learn about my own skill set in a different way. It's a great way to connect with people, particularly people who are already in a community that I'm in. So there are people who, maybe I didn't get a chance to know yet, And now I know them really well. And the same for them. And that allows you to connect different people with other people to help each other. And that's what community is about, is bringing everybody together and finding whose superpower will match another person's superpower.
I love it. I love it. That is so good. Well, listen here. Tell us a little bit even about curveballs, because I know there's people right now watching, and we have curveballs happen in life and business. And one of these curveballs was COVID. You were all ready to come to Shawshank, and you had your photo shoot set and all kinds of stuff, and then a curveball happened. That could have sidelined some people. I mean, that could have sidelined someone's quarter or year. I've seen that. I've seen less sideline people. You know, had your 30 minutes of bummed out, but then you redoubled, stepped up, was a victor. What went through your mind? Give us the whole journey there.
Yeah, and I'll even say when COVID happened and they started shutting things down, I had 3 events that got canceled in a week. And so even back in March, I was like, all right, have to have my couple minutes of, you know, being upset and
yes.
what I do and panic and pivot. And I decided that I was going to spend a lot more time on my writing. So I got a lot done, but in a different way in the spring. And when I was supposed to come out to Shawshank, it was less than 24 hours before my flight. And in order to come, I would have had to give up, you know, my nephew's high school graduation, which was kind of a no-go.
Because of the 14-day quarantine.
Yeah. And it just, you know, I had to make a decision about what I needed.
Priorities.
Priorities. And I really wanted to be there. There's a lot of reasons why I wanted to be there. But I had to prioritize and say, what am I prepared for? And I was able to do it virtually. You know, it wasn't exactly the same, but I still got all the same content. I still got to connect with everybody there. And it just taught me that just because something changes doesn't mean that it's an end. It's just a new beginning. And it taught me to prepare a little bit better for the future.
I love it. But see, that's the optimism and the belief that is characteristic of someone who is successful. I study success. I think it's one of my passions. I love people who are excellent in whatever they do. But you're one of these people who embodied a characteristic that says, it's almost like water. I know it sounds weird, but like water coming downhill, you can put a barrier there and it's going to just find its way through. And we've seen that happen. And that's how you are. Like, I know people that are literally done with their business now. I know people that have given up. I know people that aren't getting out of bed. I know people that are wearing masks, like not literal masks, but like figurative masks about just hiding. And yet you're someone who's saying, you know what, I'm going to keep going. And we even did that with the conference this year. You know, we knew that we would have to go virtual and I didn't want to do it. And I had my little 30-minute or 3-day, you know, angry session. But that's one of the characteristics of successful people is fortitude, perseverance, flexibility. And these are the things, Chrissy, that, you know, like you just can't buy. You can't buy that in the store, you know? So how do you give us your morning routine as we're waiting for Jean to come on here in a moment? Give us your morning routine of like, how do you remain a soul on fire when there's stuff going on in the world that you can't control?
I try to at night kind of set up my day so that when I get out of bed in the morning, I can work on whatever my priority is, which is usually writing, because if I don't do it first thing in the morning, it doesn't happen.
Ooh, that's good.
But that allows me, setting it up the night before allows me to get up in the morning and not have to think too hard about what I'm supposed to do and not get distracted by an email or a phone call or, you know, whatever comes up in the morning, the news, all those things.
this is a super important topic. And by the way, Erica, if you want to reach out to Jeannie, she's up next. I just want to make sure that we get to her as well before our lunch break. So if you could do that, that'd be great. But you know that one of the things we studied at Shawshank is my new book, Unhackable.
Yeah.
And first of all, I'm not looking for props about the book, but like, did the content challenge you? Did the content open up your eyes? What are some new thoughts that you have?
It definitely did. And I told you then that I had to divorce my phone. And I'm still working on that, but I'm getting there.
That's right. But one of the things that I've been studying a lot lately related to the unhackable thing really fits what you said about your daily routine. Check this out. This is really interesting. This is like brand new, less than 24 hours old. And again, I love learning. I love this topic. But here's what they're saying. And this is just a few nuggets, folks, that you're going to get from Unhackable. And by the way, Chrissy is certified. So if you want to reach out to her and talk about what it means to be coached through Unhackable, definitely do that. But one of the things that they're showing is that when we are asleep, our brain waves obviously are different, but they're very close to the edge of a flow state. So when you get up, your brain waves are not beta, they're not alpha, they're almost on this theta and delta. And so what happens is most people, they waste that potential flow state. In other words, what they do is they get up, get coffee, get the internet, check their phone, do all these things, which then drift their brain waves from a very close to flow state. So what I'm starting to experiment with, and I have been doing it for a little bit now, is that, again, I'm the earliest riser in our house. My wife remains sleeping, my kids. So when I get up, I can go. And I'm talking within minutes, seconds of like getting up and just hitting it. And hitting it could be scripture, it could be journal, it could be writing, but it's like getting right there where you almost jump into flow. So I want you to try that, Chrissy, if you haven't tried that, and let me know your thoughts.
I will. I have a lot to get done, so I'll try anything.
Yeah. All right. Well, fantastic. It was great being with you today. Super excited about all that you're doing. Thanks for being part of the Igniting Souls team. Thanks for being inspiring. And I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. You chose to renew.
I did.
Wow. Why did you choose to renew? Like, because there could be some people being like, I haven't even done it 1 year. What does that mean?
I got so much out of this past year, and I can see my next steps, and I can see myself getting into those next steps with another year.
Fantastic. So you believe that the journey's not done, that you're on fire, and to step away now would be what? What if you did step away this October? What would be the cost?
I feel like I would just stop. The forward momentum would just stop. Kind of like when you get in a car accident, you get whiplash.
Yes. Well, we're glad you're not stopping. We're glad you're coming in, taking it to the next level. And thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Kary.
All right. You take care.
You too.
Awesome. All right. Now we're going to go to Jeannie.